Back once again with another mini-series, Test Drive Unlimited dropping Halloween week 2. Yeah, we've got a lot to unpack with this one. We have of course got between the 23rd and the 1st of November to pack out this one for that huge reward of the Plague Doctor Avatar cosmetic. Like the rest of the many challenges that we've had here, not the most glamorous of rewards for getting through it, but we're going to persist. I've thoroughly enjoyed these mini-series that we have had in the game, so yeah, let's push forward. Let's first of all take a look at the races that we do have for this mini-series. First of all, having a look at live race event number 1, Stormy, so we're going to have some wet races here, front-wheel drive specific cars up to 530, 3 laps, 1.7 miles, usual rewards of around about 18,000 credits, so a fairly quick track that one does appear to be. Moving down towards the south of the map, once again another wet looking race, Thunderstorms, live event race 2 that is, 1.9 miles of domination, once again front wheel drive specific up towards 530 PR. And then lastly, another one, the Sprint Foggy. Most likely this one's also going to be wet, front wheel drive, but all of these races in this series are on asphalt, and we've chosen the John Cooper Works Mini, a car once again that I haven't used in the game yet, a car that I probably wouldn't expect to use in the game. It sounds alright, doesn't it? It doesn't sound fantastic, a little bit of a raspy exhaust note. Of course, we've already tuned this one up towards the 530 level for this race series, so as we do head over for the first race for today's outing, that of course is going to be live event race 1, those 3 laps on the stormy wet weather, Abarth 500, Alfa Romeo Mitos and a cheeky little 2CV at the back of the grid there. Let's see how this Mini does. Now already we know it's going to be wet, we know it's front wheel drive, so it's probably not going to launch the best off of the line. Having to manipulate essentially the gearbox there to try and get us off the line with a bit of intent. But we do keep our noses in front here. Nice little tight right-hander here. A lot of street furniture. We're going to have to try and negotiate our way through. Big jump, San Francisco style here. Of course, it is Hong Kong. And an Alfa Mito driving right over the top of our Mini. Absolute carnage coming down the hill into that left-hander. Tight hairpin right here. Not quite mastering it. Tried handbraking it just a little bit to try and bring the back end round. We've got round it alright. We've stayed clear of that traffic. We do cross out lap number 1, of course, in first place, around about 40, maybe 45 second lap here. Start off lap number 2. An interesting little section there, trying to go over the crest of that that right hander there was a little bit challenging, especially catching the right curb. This little cross that we just passed there, that's going to be interesting next lap out. It seems like the AI is probably going to be a bit tighter there, so there might be a bit of interference with AI and traffic crossing over. But rounding it this time, we tried to cut this corner a little bit tighter, and it does seem to be a bit neater this time round in the John Cooper Works as we do come up left-hander and we power down to cross out lap number 2. We have got AI cars to the right-hand side coming down the hill there, so it's going to be interesting if we're going to collide with any on this next drop down on this right-hander. Again, we'll negotiate it, come to the downhill section here. We've cleared off most of the street traffic, and we do indeed collide with another car crossing over. It's good, it's fun, I like to see that kind of thing happen, a little loop-to-loop or a figure of 8 track. It's always good to see. Last attempt here of this hairpin, we do apply the handbrake, really not the way to go with that one. Slow in, fast out will of course be the method there, the handbrake not working at all. And we do come up to the back of the pack here, another lap, and we would have been lapping that Alfa Mito, I believe it was, might have been an Abarth 500. But we do finish in first, and we do move over to the next race for today's outing in the John Cooper Works live event, race number 2. Starting off in first place, once again, a whole host of 500s and Mitos. No other minis in this race, which is quite interesting. So far, the John Cooper Works actually feels quite good, not having to do too much of a tune to this one, if any. Gearbox feels reasonable. Handling, braking feels actually alright out the box with some, upgrades to 530 PR. So not had something to do all too much effort to get this one happy enough to drive. Pushing on with race number 2. We could have been a bit neater through that right-hander, cutting it a little bit tighter, keeping some more power down, but nonetheless we are still in first place on standard road tyres here, of course, with the wet weather track. Managing to hold a fair bit of power, losing the back end ever so slightly through that left-hander, but we do have a nice little tight Braking section here, we want to stay tight, just avoiding that lamppost on the outside. Yeah, so far, I'm actually quite impressed with this little Mini Cooper. Obviously, last time out using the Abarth 500, our essential first venture into the front wheel drives, and that Abarth 500 is awful to drive in this game. The unbelievable levels of understeer that car has compared to this Mini Cooper, night and day difference. The Mini Cooper is just such a better car to drive in this game. As we can see, it's taking up these wet races, absolutely no bother whatsoever. Nice little hairpin just there, we negotiate that one fairly well, I would like to say. Nice right-hander up ahead here, cutting over that track. Tried to go wide just a little bit, but avoiding the outside curb. We do manage to do that one quite successfully. Coming down here into a nice left-hander, once again a heavy braking zone, and we do outbrake ourselves. We just managed to miss that lamppost. However, uphill, around about 20% left of this sprint, well, domination it is in fact. We're doing alright, making a little bit of a mess there on the outside, hitting the barriers, hitting the lamppost, but as we can see the AI is nowhere to be seen. It's not really all too much of a challenge in this race. I think it might be a bit of a trick there though. I think I can hear Alfa Mito just behind us. We know obviously they're ridiculously quick for front wheel drives. Yeah, we can see that actually relatively close behind us, but we do cross out race number 2 with another win. Moving on over next to race number 3, absolutely no surprise. Once again, the same collection of cars, Mitos, 500s, a couple of 2CVs, and the standalone Mini, our Mini Cooper, at the front of the grid. Interestingly, this race advises us to use slick tyres, but as we can already see the water spray coming off the front of that Mini here, most definitely we do not want to be using slick tyres on this road surface. The standard tyres are more than enough. The Mini easily getting this one up to the 530 PR, and we can see it's very strong for these races. Although we do have a slight bit of understeer there, we do manage to get the power down here. We can stretch away with this Mini Cooper. It is actually surprisingly good to drive. I didn't expect it to be as much fun as it has been, much like the rest of these mini series that the game has put out. The John Cooper Works has actually been very impressive for a front wheel drive car. Thoroughly enjoying using it. Outbraking ourselves slightly here, we could have been a little bit tighter, but we do still manage to keep the power down. Clipping that inside curb, we can see the spinning the back end of the car round a little bit more than we would have liked, so once again we could have been a little bit cleaner there, and we could have cut over the pathway, the walkway on the right hand side there, but nonetheless we get the power down here. We know this track before, we've done this on other races, and we just outbrake ourselves. We do end up colliding with that barrier on the outside. We don't lose all too much speed, so we won't lose any sleep over that one. Coming downhill here, we have got another tight left-hand braking section. We just managed to keep it on track and avoid those pillars. Cut over this right-hander, get the power down. Now we've got to grow some balls, and can we commit to the coming corners? This one in particular, we want to stick that nose in, just avoiding the planters on the outside right. Down to this corner, we just want to keep our foot down, maybe lift ever so slightly, just cutting over that corner, and a heavy braking section once again. Don't want to outbrake ourselves, we will end up in those trees. Then we've got a nice hairpin up ahead here. How can we negotiate that one this time out? Try and clip that curb just a little bit, brings the back end of the car round, and the Mini has managed it very well so far. Now it's all about the power. How much power can we get down in the John Cooper Works? Losing the back end ever so slightly there, we do lose a bit of speed, but overall it's been a fairly clean run here for the John Cooper Works. No competition from the AI once again, absolutely no surprise. Power down, extend that track all the way out to right, get as much power down as we can. We do cross the line around about 2:18 in the John Cooper Works. Now, with any mini series, we would be remiss if we didn't jump into Brum once again. How can Brum manage that first race? We've obviously seen the 2CVs at the back of the grid. This seems like it is fitted best for Brum to have an outing. So we'll jump in here, try and get some power down, spinning up as we always do with Brum, but with that very wet road surface, we're really struggling to get any traction down, colliding, absolutely getting battered here from the other AI cars. That blue Alfa Mito up ahead. We'll stick it down the inside, just managing to negotiate round that corner with all the AI clattering into us. The 2CV getting bags of air right here. AI going long, we managed to get on the brakes nice and early. We cut that corner nice and sharp, and we managed to pull away from the AI. How can we negotiate this hairpin being a lot tighter this time due to us fighting with the AI? But overall, the 2CV once again coming up trumps here. Brum soaring through lap 1, soaring across the line in first place. 2 more laps to go. Can we be a little bit cleaner? Can we actually set a reasonable time on the board for Brum? Can we even beat the time of the John Cooper Works? Back into that downhill section, as we already know, that street furniture already cleared off. No AI to collide with this time out, which is good. Early on the brakes, we just overextend, but we do manage to miss the street furniture on the outside there, which is good. We managed to get a better line this time out for that hairpin. Maybe in the wrong gear. We probably should have been in 3rd gear there to try and get some traction, but nonetheless we do get the power down in Brum, and we do actually have power. It feels bizarre to say getting the power down in a 2CV, but we do have true power in this car, which is absolutely bonkers. On to lap number 3. Only a few turns left to go. Realistically, it is a very short lap, but the concern here is as we come down the hill, how are we going to negotiate the AI? We don't have any AI to contend with, which is fantastic. Down into this right-hander, try and get onto the brakes nice and tight. Where the hell has that Abarth came from? What's that waiting for us to come round that corner to take us out? And why are you on the brakes? We're getting sabotaged by the AI in this outing. What the hell is going on? Nonetheless, that guy was of course in 8th place. We are in 1st. 1 more turn to go. We will cross the line and we will win the race and the series here in Brum. Fantastic to see Brum performing once again, and like we mentioned, we have now completed it all out. We have completed out the series. We have finished off Halloween race number 2. Now overall, John Cooper Works was the chosen car for myself for the series. I'm actually quite impressed with it. I thought it was fantastic to drive. Let me know if you guys, what you guys chose for Halloween week number 2, and if you have used the John Cooper Works. I'm actually quite impressed with this car. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it has been. Yes, it's not a Ferrari. Yes, it's not a Lamborghini. But when we're coming back to using realistic cars here, the Mini was absolutely fantastic, and I genuinely cannot wait to use this again. Maybe look for some more mini races to have some ventures out next time out. But just to obviously come back to the fact again, these mini series that Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is dropping, I've said it before and I will say it again, and most likely I will continue to say this. I think this is an absolute masterstroke from the game. Using cars that we would never normally use. How many people would normally jump into a John Cooper Works? It's not a car I would have chosen, but jumping into the car, realising just how good it actually is. Masterstroke from the game. So yes, credit where credit is due to Neko, to KT, everyone that is involved. Huge masterstroke from the game. Thoroughly enjoyed Halloween week 2. Let me know guys what you thought of today's content, and if you did enjoy the races there on Halloween week 2. Easy for me to say. On that note guys, we'll wrap up for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Smash up a like, subscribe, all the usual good stuff. Stay tuned for the next update on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.